Now, talking about safety. If you talk about safety in a hyperbaric unit, you have to be very careful. You're using oxygen under high pressure. So whenever you're in a high pressure system, there can be no static because oxygen can be flammable since they use a liquid oxygen. Pressure in a chamber, as it's increasing, you have to make sure your ears clear. If they don't clear, you can have a lot of pain. You won't be able to stand the treatment. You have to have no problems with your lungs. If you have history of spontaneous rupture of bullae or spontaneous pneumothorax, as they call it, you can't really do hyperbaric oxygen. Now, what are the dangers on top of that? Well, as I mentioned before, if you were to travel in an airplane, you have to wait 12 hours to leach off all the nitrogen bubbles from your blood system. And basically, another disadvantage would be, again, the time constraint. Now, what are the safety issues with LiveO2? LiveO2, basically, I don't see any. With LiveO2, there's no problem with nitrogen bubbles accumulating in your system. There's no problems if you need to travel. There's no problems with spontaneous pneumothorax bullae rupturing. The only thing you need in LiveO2 is to be able to tolerate some type of exercise unit. It can be a bike, it can be an elliptical, it can be a rowing machine, you name it, whatever you like. There's even the arm bikes. If you can't do exercise, then there's another alternative. You can use the far infrared chambers, which increase your heart rate, and you can bypass having to get on cumbersome equipment. Now, when you're using oxygen, the question always comes up. If I use no oxygen, it can be harmful. Well, in theory, it can be. If you take, say, Stevie Wonder, for example. It's said that he has retinal damage from hyper-oxygenating, from too much oxygen when he was in the incubator. Oxygen, the way we use it, there's no problem. I've never seen any intoxication from it. I have never seen any damage from it because you are exercising. You're producing CO2 at the same time. You're mobilizing your white blood cells. You're eliminating toxins at the same time. Unlike hyperbaric oxygen, when you stay in there for too long, what can happen? Well, first of all, the longer you stay in the hyperbaric chamber, at the pressure, even at 2.4 atmospheres below water, if you spend more than an hour and a half that the treatment requires, the longer it'll take to flush out the nitrogen from your system. So if you were, say, technician were to fall asleep and you were to fall asleep in there a couple of hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, you would have to flush out your nitrogen system with a slow decompression that would take hours. The LiveO2 has benefits that, like I said again, you will not find anywhere.